Hello, hello, and good morning. I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights. And today we've got a great find. We've got Hanna Jacobson, and she is the founder of Book Awards Pro. So let's say hello to Hanna.
Hi, Strider. Thank you so much for having me here. It's always an honor. My name is Hanna Jacobson, and I'm the founder of Book Award Pro. And we operate the world's largest database of legitimate awards and reviews. I'm also the awards and story marketing advisor to the Alliance of Independent Authors. And if you haven't heard of Ally, it's a really, really great resource for indie authors. So that's kind of my background and why I'm here today.
And see, that's why she's here today, because we met recently and I said, I've got to have you on the show. And she said, I'd love to be there. So thank you, Hanna, for spending your time being with us today. Now, Book Awards Pro, that's pretty much what the name says, which sometimes doesn't happen that way, but in this case it does. So you are for authors, indie or otherwise, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We work with authors who are indie, self-published, even unpublished, and even traditional. So no matter how you've actually published your books, there are different accolades that are suitable for your books.
And unpublished is important because sometimes before you get your book out, you want to start the process, and that is important. So if you have a book that is imminent, I'll put it that way, and it is written, it has been edited, and you're ready to put it out to the world, it's time to be looking for some awards to attach to that cover and the advertising, correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right. Most authors don't know that you can actually start to pursue the awards process before you're published. And while we're talking about things that most authors don't know, is that there actually is a process in there's a process to pursue to get book awards, to get reviews.
All right, and that's where you come in.
Absolutely.
So now let's say I have a book. Actually, I have a book. Woo. I have a couple of books and a couple that are also manuscripts because they're not published yet. Therefore, that's not considered a book, in case you didn't know that. Um, so I have a manuscript that is ready for publication, and I want to get an award attached to it so I can really put it out there right. How do I go about that?
For sure. So if you are doing things on your own, say separately from Book Award Pro, historically, authors and publishers have had a really hard time navigating their books, their manuscripts through the awards process. So what you would normally do is go try to find some awards, see if you can submit to them, kind of take a shot in the dark and submit your book. But where Book Award Pro comes in, if you have a manuscript, if you have a book, you would simply go to our website, choose a plan that works best for you, and give us either a PDF copy of your book or your ISBN if you have one. And our system will be able to show you these awards and these reviews are a good fit for your book. So that way you can save time. You don't have to go scour the internet to see what's out there. You can trust our research database to actually deliver what's a good fit for you.
And that's important, a good fit for your book, correct genre for it, and not just genre, but type. And so you have this database then that filters and comes up with the best choice for me as an author for my manuscript, because you check out the manuscript first and say, this one fits. Here's where you should do that. And then do you take care from there, or does the author? How does that work?
So it depends on what plan you choose. So for example, we have a free plan where you don't have to pay anything at all to Book Award Pro, and you can simply see what accolades are out there for you. If you decide to go forward and put your book forward for consideration, you would be responsible for pursuing the process yourself. But on our Pro plan, or if say that you selected, we have the concept of a boost. You can actually ask Book Award Pro to perform a one-time submission for you, or we can handle that ongoing for you once a month, every month. So long, long story short, it depends on your plan and what best suits your budget.
All right. So there are separate plans, three, four, I mean, they're somewhere in there. And Yes, I've checked out her site. Of course I have. And I just have a poor memory, but that still works. So you choose the plan, and then according to your choices, you can either have a la carte or you can have full service. Now, that was a thing when I was looking for awards, and yes, I have. And yes, I'm an award-winning author. I like that term. And it is on my website, and it is on the advertising that I do. It is on the books even, and that is important too, so that if it's sitting somewhere, someone can pick it up, turn it over, go, oh gosh, that's an award-winning book. That means something. Now, what really does that mean to the public when they see that on their books?
Oh, and you know what? I guess I want to step back for a moment and say
Mhm.
that Strider and I actually connected because he is an award-winning author. And we met at a local meetup group. It was actually an event organized by a local book service. And I actually met Strider, and he was telling these fabulous stories to this group, just kind of surrounding him. And I caught award-winning author. And the way that you expressed it was just so just very authentic and very professional, and that was very captivating. So I'm very much a reader, and I've always been drawn to award-winning literature. When I kind of look back on my life, I see how awards shaped me and took me to some of my very favorite books, like Because of Winn-Dixie. The Newbery Honor Medal helped me discover that book. So to the public, to readers, award-winning lends credibility that your book has been vetted, that it's been, viewed by a professional entity that considered your book worthy of an accolade. And it's also social proof that other humans have looked at your book, have enjoyed it. It makes it more likely that they want to buy your book, that they want to look at your book too.
That's true. And there is a difference in these things. There are the star rating, say on Amazon, 5-star review. Um, I have 4.9 stars on one of my books on Luna. That is like every time I check that, is there, oh, I can't believe it. That is awesome. But that means the public has read the book and the public is making their response. But there are also professional reviews that are also, say, on Amazon, since we were discussing that one, a little different section, and it will be a professional review from someone with knowledge of the subject of writing, not just a reader. Both things are important, and they verify that that book is written, the prose are correct, everything is done correctly. And there's a difference between professional and the public, although there's a lot of professional public too. If I don't get tangled in my words here.
Yeah, no, actually, so from your first question, I was kind of taking it from, what does award-winning or, well-reviewed mean to read?
Hmm.
But you brought up such an interesting point that Amazon reviews are different from reader reviews, are different from professional reviews. For example, professional reviews may include an editorial review, and this kind of accolade in your corner shows book professionals why your book may be deserving of being bought by libraries, getting greater distribution. That's huge. Even getting an agent is one way that editorial reviews, professional reviews, capture their attention and kind of put your book in a different light. So Strider, you're absolutely right that awards and reviews together are accolades, and those accolades grow your credibility as an author. And also, they're a form of social proof, letting other people know in the world that your book is worthy of reading, that it's exciting to read, and other people enjoyed it too.
But now to awards and their benefits, there are far more benefits than just getting an award, which is great, but it doesn't do anything by itself. But part of those benefits of awards are sometimes things are connected to those, correct?
Yes, that's absolutely the case. And I think you really touched on an important topic that awards don't automatically do something for your book. But very frequently, if you say that you become an award-winning author, well, the organization that awarded your book, generally speaking, they're doing something else to promote your book to readers. So maybe you're getting some social posts, maybe a press release has been submitted on your behalf.
That's important because the more times your work, your name, your book title gets bounced around on this internet system, the more value it has to the system, and therefore it shows up more and more. Incredible how that all works, but that is the way the algorithm works, and not just the Amazon algorithm, but the algorithm of the internet.
Yes, it awards grow your discoverability in that way. And, Strider, to your point, that when your book is discovered, when the internet sees it on a press release and on a well-known website, and you're also your own websites, just when you start growing a name for yourself and for your book, that again, that grows your credibility and increases your discoverability. Super, super well said. Yeah, so other ways that awards may be sharing about your book, maybe we mentioned a press release. We actually had an author win an award, and the award issued a press release that ended up being picked up by NPR. And so the author was actually invited as a guest onto NPR. And that's the um, kind of the magic of book awards that you may see, that it may not immediately unfold for you, but you may be really surprised at some of the opportunities that come about when you become an award-winning author.
That is true, actually, and I will use my own personal experience because that's the one I know best.
Yeah.
I am an award-winning author. I do have good reviews on Amazon as well as professional book reviews. There's the, 5-star. But because of that, it was picked up, and my book was at the LA Times Festival of Books last year. And then an interview from that also, where I was interviewed in that case, talked about my book and all those things going. But that was simply because of those awards and recognition that caught their attention. So they wanted to interview me.
Fab.
And as I interview others, very similar situation.
I love that example because it's just so authentic, and it shows how things can unfold for you. And now that you're an award-winning author, you carry that with you forever for all the future books that you publish too. And
That's
that's
true.
exciting because you have an entire brand refresh. You can polish up your your profile, your bio, but also future book descriptions. You can always refer to yourself as an award-winning novelist, an award-winning author. And on top of that, when your other books win awards too, you can kind of, play with the award seal, see what that does for your book sales. We see authors use those for book signings as a way to kind of connect with their readers and say, hey, look, yeah, beautiful. Let's see a close up of that. That's beautifully done.
Look at that. Isn't
So
that a gorgeous cover too? That was by Bookfly, James at Bookfly. And I cannot say enough about their company.
well
Um,
done. It is a beautiful book cover, and
It
they're
is, and throughout, and that's another thing, and we will have an interview with them one of these days also. I've contacted James and said, absolutely, love to be there. So those kind of things. But yes, that sticker on there that says won an award, or that the professional review was done and it's 5-star, and you want those. You want those connections. And not only does it link you to things like interviews, um, sometimes there's monetary attachment. You win an award, these big places, they have a monetary attachment to it, or their services where they may say, oh, we're going to give you this discount or this free editorial service, or links to other things in their sites, interviews, as we had, free advertising, because they will bounce your name, your title, your book around, and that free advertising, it costs a lot of money to advertise. So that to you as a value as an author. To a reader, because we do have readers that watch this to say, where do I want to get my next book? I'm not an author. Oh, I thought about it, but I want to know a good book. And we are picky about who we put on here. So when we see those things, when I see those things and I see award-winning author, I can validate that's probably someone worth putting on the show.
and something really important that not just the award seal on its own, but even introducing yourself as an award-winning author, it establishes trust with other people, and other people are we're human beings, we're readers. We want that trust. We want to know that our investment in a book is a good one, and when your book is seen as credible and having value, exactly as you said, Strider, it just makes the process easier for book buyers.
It does. And without the book buyers, we're just writing.
Yeah.
We need somebody to read the book. Otherwise, we're just writing. And while that is also not only healthy and good for us to put things down, we'd love to have our books read.
Yeah.
Um, do you choose everybody that takes part? And when somebody says, I would like to get in the book service, how do you deal with that?
Oh, so Book Award Pro works with authors all around the world. Thousands of authors every year use our service for their unpublished books, traditional, indie, even self-published works come through our system. And our work is to show you what accolades are out there specific for your book. So Book Award Pro doesn't do the selection. We actually just kind of in our roots we believe there are opportunities for everyone. So even if your book
Important.
doesn't become award winning, something that we see behind the scenes is that book award programs may suggest, if your book hasn't won an award, but they really see potential with it, you may actually get feedback from the judges who said, "We really loved the plot of your story, but you really need an editor to make this more readable." So you may find that no matter what stage of the process you're in, you can gain value by becoming an award-winning author. Hopefully, that's never guaranteed. But maybe too, you get valuable feedback from people who are reading your book.
And I would say, especially for indie authors, every manuscript needs to be edited by someone other than yourself, and not just your best friend, because it needs to be someone professional that knows what it takes, both in storyline, but also method and manner. And it will only make your work better. It's hard to take. It is hard to get edits done that say you need to change this, and this, and throw that out. And chapter 2 is superfluous. It's hard to take, but it makes your work better. And good work, it will get you down the road. Mediocre work won't.
Beautifully said. And editing is one of the top concerns that we see from award programs,
Mhm.
especially with indie authors, because your budget may be very, very strict and may be very tight, which is completely understandable. But in full disclosure, yes, awards and reviews, their most common feedback to an author who wasn't provided, a great review or award-winning status, it may be that your book could use some editing.
Now, just for knowledge for the public here watching, your services, Book Awards Pro, will be on DurhamandPublishing.com webpage in the author resources, so they can find you there and click to you. They can go straight to you at bookawardspro.com, where they can link to you that way. So those things are available to you. There is no excuse not to get your work out there if you're an author. And if you're a reader, look for those awards, because that's going to be a guaranteed good read. How's that?
I love that. Oh, Strider, that's wonderful. Yeah, for authors, you may not have known that there are actually accolade opportunities for you. Pursue them, engage in the process, and see what happens. You don't have to do it forever. Just do it for a few months. Submit your book for a few different awards, maybe a few different reviews. See what results you get, and see how those results help your book. And for readers, look at award programs that follow your interests. So, say that you really like science fiction, find awards that are honoring science fiction and follow their works. Discover new books. There are indie authors who are publishing new books all the time, and those are kind of being discovered as these hidden gems by awards.
That is true. We're running out of time, Hannah. I hate to say that because we have such a good time talking. We really do. We'll bump into each other again, not far down the road. And that's great. And that is part of this process of meeting people too, that I love so much, that community. Most authors tend to be introverts. It's
Yeah.
true, not all of them, but most of them do. And so it's difficult to get out and make those contacts. And this is the way they can do it. But down the road, they'll make those connections. Thank you for being with us, Hannah. I really, really appreciate your time today.
Well, and Strider, thank you so much for the invitation to be here. I'm so glad that we could connect in the real world. And congratulations, as an award-winning author, you'll carry that with you forever.
Woo. Thank you much, Hannah. Until next time, I'm Strider. This is Author in the Headlights, sponsored by DurhamandPublishing.com. And thanks for being with us today. Sponsored by DurhamandPublishing.com.